We are back on Edge 88.1. I wanted to tell you real quick about a great organization called Amanda the Panda. Amanda the Panda provides grief support for children and families for about a year after they have lost a loved one. They do that through support groups, peer support groups, and camps. It's just a really unique organization in Des Moines. If you want more information on Amanda the Panda, go to amandathepanda.org. This is Lacie Gwinn on Edge 88.1. Hey, welcome back to Edge 88.1, Des Moines Radio Mashup. This is Lacie Gwinn. I'm sure that we have all heard about Kim Davis by now. She's the Kentucky County Clerk that denied issuing marriage licenses after the Supreme Court had ruled that that was unconstitutional. She went to jail for a few days, and she was celebrated as a big hero amongst people that were in her camp. But the story gets a little bit strange when she claimed that she had private audience with the Pope. She said that the Pope told her to stay strong, implying that the Pope endorsed her actions. The Vatican says that that's actually not true. In fact, the only people that the Pope gave any private audience to was a gay student and his partner. What do you think? Do you think that the Vatican was trying to put a positive spin on things and do damage control? Do you believe Kim Davis? Tweet us at KDPS88. This is Lacie Gwinn on Edge 88.1.
Good morning, Des Moines. 59 degrees right now. This is Andrew Houp with Lacie Gwinn on 88.1 KDPS. Good morning, Lacie.
Good morning, Andrew.
What's your family experience with heart disease and stroke?
We have a lot of experience with that. My grandma has had several heart attacks. When I was younger, she had to have quadruple bypass surgery, and she's actually had to have several surgeries since then, so I'm pretty experienced in that area, unfortunately.
So what's quadruple bypass surgery like?
Well, I don't know. I haven't had it.
Well, I mean, how long was she in the hospital for?
To my knowledge, I was about 5 at the time, so we weren't quite so advanced. So she was probably in the hospital for several weeks.
So it was about 1991 or so?
I would say so.
Yeah, my granddad had his first heart attack then. He was 51 or 52 years old. And so that was the first of two, plus a stroke later on. And so it's affected my family deeply too. That's why it's so important to pay attention to organizations like the American Heart Association so that in the future you can prevent this from happening generationally in your family. I know it's affected mine going back several generations. Heart disease, stroke, like my great-grandfather, he had heart issues and eventually died from it. And then several great-great-grandfathers back. It's a common killer.
Yeah, it definitely is, and American Heart Association is really great for that. Scientific advancements, getting people in and out of the hospital a lot faster, being able to do better surgeries. So it is a really great organization for us to have.
Absolutely. It's the nation's leading trainer in CPR. I don't know if you knew that or not. I didn't know that. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a great skill to have. Well, Lacie, thanks for being here this morning, and it's 8:28 right now in the capital city. You're listening to 88.1 KDPS.
And we're back on Edge 88.1, Des Moines Radio Mashup. This is Lacie Gwinn. I'm going to talk about something I get a little bit passionate about, and that's the Syrian refugee crisis. As you may know, Obama has pledged to bring 10,000 of the Syrian refugees to the United States. Well, some of our presidential candidates don't think that's a good idea. What they're saying is that they're worried that the Syrian refugees, the Syrian Muslim refugees specifically, are a threat to American lives and American culture. I find this to be pretty baseless. They're not terrorists. The Syrian refugees are not terrorists. In fact, they're flying away from a terrorist organization, ISIS, and also their government. They deserve some refuge. They deserve a break. This is Lacie Gwinn on Edge 88.1, Des Moines Radio Mashup. And we're back again on Edge 88.1. I'm Lacie Gwinn, and I am here with Andrew Houp.
Good morning, Lacie.
Good morning, Andrew.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Syrian refugee crisis that we just heard about. So I wanted to know, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this crisis and moving these refugees to the United States?
Well, I'm very suspicious about this entire case. I really must admit. I'm not really sure of all the facts involved. I know they want to bring a lot of people here. I just don't want to see any terrorists come over.
I think that we can all definitely agree on that. We have kind of taken into account that fear. So all the refugees have to apply through the UN. They have to do an extensive background check. So they're not just getting brought over here, without anything being checked. And it takes about 2 years for them to get through that process. And a lot of the refugees have already been refugees for about 4 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
So where have they been in the meantime?
For the most part, Jordan has taken in a lot of the refugees.
And they just don't want to take in any more? They just can't handle all those people?
Yeah, no, they can't. I mean, because we're up to millions of refugees.
Why are they all leaving?
Well, half of their territory is covered. They only have about, I'm not very good at math, but Assad only has about 25% territory left. ISIS has a bunch of territory. But essentially, Assad is terrorizing his people, and we all know about ISIS. ISIS will pretty much kill anybody that gets in their way.
Yes, and that's another competing factor in this too. You've got ISIS, you've got Assad, and you've got all these refugee people in the middle is what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Well, it's just one of those things that goes to show that the Machiavellian principle doesn't really work. It's better to be feared than loved. I don't really buy that.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's been a pretty bad situation, and we need to kind of look into ways to fix it.
Absolutely. We'll be back on this issue and more right after Biscuits with Kelly Musgraves on 88.1 KDPS. 60 degrees right now in the capital city. Good morning. That last artist there, I think I messed up her name coming into that song. It's Casey Musgraves with Biscuits. A big hit right now. Well, this is Andrew Houp here with Lacie Gwinn. Good morning again, Lacie. We're back on the Syrian refugee crisis discussion. What more do you know about this case?
Well, I know quite a bit about the case. As far as, I guess, what are you wanting to know?
What's the overall goal in bringing the refugees here? Do you think they'll be able to be resettled in the United States permanently, or will they go back with time?
I think it would be ideal if they want to go back to Syria, that they would be able to go back to Syria. But I think that they can be properly assimilated into the United States and make a home here.
Interesting. So do you know anything about how much it's going to cost to do this venture, or will they have to, like certain African refugees have to pay back the cost of what it took to bring them here with time? They have to pay back the U.S. government. Would it be a similar situation in this scenario?
I don't know about the payback part. What I did find was that it costs what the government gives for the Syrian refugees on their first month. They give them $900 to get them through with their rent and their food, and then a lot of the refugees will qualify for some of the government programs.
Oh, wow. Well, it's 88.1 KDPS. This is Andrew Houp with Lacie Gwinn. We'll be back shortly. This is Edge 88.
Thank you for tuning in to Edge 88.1. This is Lacie Gwinn here with a special edition of the Culture Chronicles. Special Tuesday edition, that is. Now, how much would you pay for a lock of celebrity hair? Well, one of John Lennon's locks of hair just sold for $35,000. That is a lot. Well, first of all, how do you even know that it's John Lennon's hair? And is the biggest piece of his hair that has ever been sold. That grosses me out quite a bit. But that is not the most expensive lock of hair that has ever been sold for celebrities. Elvis beats everybody out. His sold for $135,000. What do you even do with a lock of hair? I don't know. But I will be with you here for the next hour on KDPS on Des Moines Radio Mashup. Next up is going to be High by Young Rising Suns. And we're back on KDPS Des Moines Radio Mashup. This is Lacie Gwinn. I'll be keeping you company all hour. And I just have the sweetest story for you guys. So, a lady by the name of Yasuko Karuki, she's the wife of a Japanese dairy farmer. She lost her vision due to some diabetes complications. She began withdrawing from society. She locked herself in her house. She was so depressed. But her husband stumbled upon just the remedy. He was walking by another dairy farm, as it happened to be, and he saw this bright, beautiful purple flower. I know what you're thinking. She's blind. Doesn't matter. He thought she couldn't enjoy the sight of the flower, but she could enjoy the smell. So what did he do? He began planting these flowers all around his farm. And the smell, she loved it, so it started to draw her out. And there were so many flowers, and they were so beautiful that visitors started to come by. And as the visitors came by, she began to talk to them. So it effectively just drew her out of her depression. It was so sweet. Now that was more than 25 years ago, and the flowers are still blooming on the farm. And they no longer have cattle on the farm, but they do have a museum with the flowers and the story behind it. That's a sweet story to keep you going this afternoon. And next up, we have Ain't Nobody Love Me Better on KDPS. And thank you again for tuning in to Edge 88.1. My name is Lacie. I'm one half of the Culture Chronicles, and we're on a special edition today. And on the Culture Chronicles, we are very body positive. So I was really, really delighted to see the news that you're going to hear next. Model Lauren Wasser, who is 28, just graced the runway for the New York Fashion Week. She was working for a company by the name of Chromat. Well, what's so special about Lauren Wasser? Well, she was wearing a prosthetic leg. She lost her leg in 2012 due to toxic shock syndrome from wearing a tampon. So, she got another lease on life. She did not stop modeling. She kept going for it. And it just made me really happy that they were starting to really embrace that kind of diversity, you know, because normally that would mean that your career is over, but not for Lauren. In addition to that, the same company, Chromat, had featured transgender models, plus-size models, models of various different ethnic backgrounds. It's really, really great to see the fashion industry opening up to all types of women. And we will actually be talking about some of this stuff again on the Culture Chronicles on Thursday from 4 to 6. My partner Missi will be back, and we will be sharing some news that we have been hearing for this week. It is National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, so we're going to talk a lot about that. But next is going to be Lay Me Down with Sam Smith featuring John Legend on Edge 88.1. And thank you again for tuning into Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. This is Lacie with the Culture Chronicles. Now, we've been pretty positive today, but as any dedicated listener to the Culture Chronicles knows, I have a rant to make today. It's the meme that I see that 5 deadly terms used by women. And I'm not going to go over them, but we have phrases such as fine, which doesn't actually mean fine. This is, quote, the word the women use to end an argument when she knows she is right and you need to shut up. Or, that's okay. And she's thinking really hard about how she's going to make you pay for your mistake. I have a big problem with this. The normal posters are not men as you might think. You know, they're probably making fun of their wives or girlfriends for being like that, but it's actually ladies that I see reposting this. Ladies, use your words. I presume that you are, you know, at least getting into adulthood if you're in a relationship. Say what you mean what you say. You can't miscommunicate that way. So, instead of saying, fine, she's like, no, dude, knock it off. Use your words. Say what you mean. It'll make all the difference. And plus, it'll stop making us look like crazy people. We kind of are sometimes. We need to stop this. We don't need to give them anything to make fun of us for. Well, up next on Edge 88.1 is going to be Gravity by Papa Roach on Edge 88.1. Alright, that was Unsteady by Ex-Ambassadors on Edge 88.1. Well, we're going to round out this hour with another positive news story. A man named Jonathan Fleming was recently released from prison after serving 25 years for a crime that he did not commit. The crime that he did not commit was murder. They didn't give him much when they released him from jail. They gave him $93 whole. So he had $93 in his account. He went to live with some relatives. A gentleman by the name of Alex Suturo heard of his plight, and he decided that he was going to raise some money for him. And these are people, the people who are released from prison, they're kind of a population that we don't see. So that's why I thought that this was so cool. So this fundraiser raised $35,000 from people in 14 different countries. How amazing is that? So these funds will go towards helping Mr. Fleming get a job, or, to keep him on his feet while he's looking for a job. It'll help him pay for some housing expenses, some food expenses. So we need more of that in the world, and that makes me really excited. Up next on KDPS, keeping you company through your rush hour drive is going to be the always entertaining Angela Lose. So stay tuned, let us keep you company, and have a great day. In spite of his inspiring accomplishments, recruiting Andrew Long came with some risks. In 2011, he pled guilty to sexually assaulting a teammate's mother. He spent 9 months in jail, and during that time, he began to read the Bible and found Jesus. In interviews, he was quoted as saying, "God's got the show now," and that the Bible now guided his ethical decisions. With that, Grandview faculty and coaches felt comfortable allowing Andrew Long to be on the team. But allowing him to be on the team involved an extensive code of conduct. Coach Mitchell said that there were some pretty obvious things that needed to be in the contract. He said, "We don't want him drinking. He's still on probation, so he needs to stick to the terms of his probation. Any kind of violation would be an easy decision for us to let him go." Long flourished in Grandview Vikings wrestling program. He won the Midlands Championship, he was undefeated, and he was scheduled to go on to another tournament. Okay, so how do you feel about being a Grandview athlete in an ethical sense?
Being a Grandview athlete in an ethical sense, I feel obligated, privileged to be able to be an athlete at any school. Grandview specifically in my situation, it's something that I hold dearly because everybody doesn't get that opportunity. I have to give respect the way I receive the respect as well, from my coaches, from my teammates. So ethically, it's a great thing to hold on to. I'm in a great position. I think every athlete at Grandview is put in that position when they are given that scholarship.
What position?
A position that you owe the school. You don't get given this money. You aren't given this money for a scholarship to just sit down and go to school. You still have work to do outside of that. That's part of being a student athlete. Being a student is just half of it. The athlete is why you're getting the money, though.
Right. You also identify as a Christian. So just talking about the first half of the Andrew Long story where Grandview gave him the second chance, how do you feel as a Christian about that second chance being given?
As a Christian, the second chance being given, it doesn't really disturb any of my thoughts or opinions on being a Christian or anything against him or myself. I don't think it really has anything to do with being a Christian on being the second chance type thing. God is the only one that can judge us when it comes to that, and he gives us endless amount of chances. in terms of until we just stop asking for forgiveness, and if we know what we're doing and you continue to do that, then God will look at you and be like, okay, you're deliberately doing this, and you know the wrong from right. In Andrew Long's situation, I think that is a rough situation, as he said in his interview, and he has been drunk, and I think common sense, when you are drunk, you do not remember things. You are not yourself.
Yeah. Do you think Grandview should have given him that second chance?
Definitely. I don't see why not. And with him being relieved from the team, the reasoning of it was not his initial reasoning for basically him hitting rock bottom, what basically got him kicked off the team at Penn State. This chance was really just to let him wrestle again and move his life forward. Who are we to determine or to say, no, you shouldn't be able to compete or go to school anymore?
Yeah, a lot of people, after they saw the story on We Are Iowa aired, commented on the story on their Facebook, and they were upset that there was a wrestler who was a rapist and was allowed to wrestle on the team, and they basically said that, well, athletics must trump ethics in this case. What do you think about that?
I think in society today that you have half of society that believes that, what you said, athletics must trump ethics. In some states, depending on what sport you play, that can really be true. In the South, in Texas, where I'm from, football could probably trump ethics in certain situations. And then here in Iowa, the Midwest, wrestling, maybe it does. But I don't think that you can go as far as saying that is why he was given a second chance. I think that is solely based on the school, the staff, the president, and the athletic program, what they believe. And like the coach said, sitting down with Andrew and speaking to him to see where he was at with life, that was a big thing on giving that second chance.
Yeah. Go back and say the stuff that you were telling me about his teammate, how you would feel.
So just from the teammate perspective, if something was like that to happen, you feel really, really disrespected, and that probably would cause your teammate to hit rock bottom. You build a brotherhood when you join a team, or a sisterhood as a female when you join a team. So to know that a teammate could do such a thing or did such a thing, it's beyond words. You can't put words to it. You always think about, if you have a blood brother, you would never stab that blood brother in the back. And when you think about a brotherhood or a team, that is the one thing that would do it. Or that would be in relation to stabbing your blood brother in the back.
Yeah. What about being a coach? Now, this coach didn't just, when he was with Penn State, it wasn't the first time this coach had worked with him. He followed him from Iowa State. So this coach gave him a second chance, essentially, and then this happened. So what do you think maybe as an athlete, what was going through his head? Maybe.
And you're talking about as an athlete, Andrew? What he thought about that coach, or what the coach thought about Andrew?
What do you think a coach might have thought when they received that kind of a news?
Well, knowing that the coach left Iowa State and Andrew followed, and the coach allowed that, he still had some faith in Andrew. There are a lot of coaches like there because, just as I was talking about the brotherhood that you create with your teammates when you join a team, there's also a relationship you create with your coach. Almost, he is a father figure type person. You spend so much time with your coach that is that's your go-to, your right-hand person. To know that he had somebody like that, I'm pretty sure his coach was just like, come on, you drink, you're a college student. In a college student, in a coach's mind, drinking is normal. There probably was not a big alarming sound going off in that coach's mind at the time. But when he went to Penn State and that happened, that one incident happened, I'm pretty sure there was alarm then.
Yeah, there would have to be. So now that he has been kicked off the team, this happened roughly a week before the tournament. Coach had no problems kicking him off the team. But how do you think the team would have felt that they have now lost their star wrestler to something like this a week before they were going to go compete?
I think the team was somewhat prepared if this was to happen. Not saying they counted him out from the beginning, but I think when a coach and a coaching staff takes on such a situation, such an athlete in a situation, I think you talk to your team before you allow that person to join your team. Yes, you're the coach and you run things and you're the head honcho and everything, but if you really care about your team and respect your team and your athletes, I think you bring that to your team as well and say, hey, this is a situation, someone we're recruiting, and especially to the returners. Maybe not to the first-year people, especially his first year here, but especially to the returners, the seniors and stuff. You let them know the situation that you're in recruiting somebody like this, and I think they respect it. When the coach kicked him off, I think they said, hey, the guy had some standards that he had to follow, and he broke them.
Yeah, he did have like a laundry list of things that he was supposed to do in order to stay on the team, in order to get this chance. And I personally think that was the right thing to do, to have that kind of a thing. Those kinds of restrictions make everybody feel a little bit better.
And I don't even think necessarily it was to make everybody else feel better. I think it was also to just make him feel better, because it's almost like when you join a team and when you do make certain mistakes in life, you search for an accountability partner or somebody to hold you accountable. And I think that was really just a list to hold him accountable, keep him where he needed to be, where he wanted to be as well. There's no doubt in my mind, I didn't know Andrew Long personally, but there's no doubt in my mind that he did not want to do, or let's say, there's no doubt in my mind that he did not want to still be a part of the team. He was just a kid that went and drank and broke a rule. Yeah,
unfortunately. What do you make of the situation as a whole?
Get your drinking under control before, it takes over your life, because like I said, I don't think he had a problem with sexual offensives to women. I think it was a drinking problem that led to other things. It was almost like I'll back it up. I just think it was a drinking problem that led to other things.
Yeah.
He lost himself in the alcohol.
Yeah, and now he's losing a lot.
Yeah.
He's only
26.
26 and about to graduate.
Yep.
And lost everything.
But he'll bounce back. He may not wrestle again, but education, as we are taught, is the number one thing to get. So I hope he bounces back and gets the help that he needs and wants and deserves.
Edge 88.1. I am Lacie Gwinn here with Missi Farni.
Hey.
Hello. Well, I'm just going to read a tweet to you by rapper B.O.B. saying, "No matter how high in elevation you are, the horizon is always eye level. Sorry, cadets, I didn't want to believe it either."
What is he talking about?
Apparently, he believes that the Earth is flat.
Oh.
Yeah. So his logic is that the horizon is always flat, essentially, and that all space pictures have the Earth at eye level to the astronaut.
Are you gonna tell him, or am I gonna have to tell him?
Neither one of us have to do that, thankfully. Our hero, my hero, Neil deGrasse Tyson, has stepped in to take care of this very serious science issue. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I would really, really like to have him just narrate my life because I love the sound of his voice, but I also love his skills in science. So he went on Comedy Central on the nightly show, and he did a little bit of a diss song himself.
Oh, dang.
It's filled with little sneaky disses to rapper B.O.B. So he says, in defense of, the Earth being round like it is, small sections of curved surfaces will always look flat to the creatures who crop upon it. And then he delivered just an amazing, factual, big words and whatnot.
What he does best.
What he does best.
Space.
So, and then at the end, he delivered an amazing mic drop because gravity, right?
Oh.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are my hero. B.O.B., you know what? You should just stick around and keep us entertained. We're going to keep you entertained here on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1.
Thanks again for tuning in with the Culture Chronicles. Woohoo! All right, for our first segment, I'm really excited about this one, Lacie.
What are you excited about, Missy?
DeLoreans are back on the market.
Okay, so I have a confession. I know that this is related to Back to the Future, but I've never seen Back to the Future.
Lacie!
I know.
Come on!
You're the pop culture person, Missy.
I know, but Back to the Future is like a classic.
I know.
Come on.
So what is a DeLorean?
The DeLorean is basically the biggest part of the entire movie.
So it's the time travel thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is
okay.
the time travel thing.
Got it.
It's the coolest car on the face of the earth.
Okay, so you say it's back. What does that mean?
They were off the market for about 34 years now. And in Humble, Texas, they decided to bring it back. So they're going to create 300 more DeLoreans.
And they're going to be selling them?
Yes.
Are they actual cars that people can drive?
Yes, opposed to fake cars that they can't drive.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm really excited because I love that movie. I can't even drive, and I'm really excited. So I guess that tells you what the DeLoreans.
Well, I will
been.
look at, or I will watch Back to the Future and see what these DeLoreans are and why you're so excited.
All right, thank you for that.
You are welcome.
All right, and next we're going to hear Footsteps by Pop Evil. Thanks for listening to the Edge 88.1. Thanks for tuning in with us on Edge 88.1, and you're listening to the Culture Chronicles with Missy and Lacie. Well, Lacie, I can't feel my face when I think about this next story because it is the cutest thing I have ever heard in my entire life.
What is it?
All right, so Marley Diaz, a cute 11-year-old girl, is sending 1,000 books with black protagonist females to Jamaica.
That is awesome.
Isn't it amazing?
That makes me really excited, actually.
And this was all on her own. Her and a couple of her friends together, they call themselves BAM. So cute. And they started this campaign, and it's also a hashtag on Twitter, 1,000 Black Girl Books. And Marley is just using what she won from the Disney Friends for Change grant to change the lives of a whole bunch of people down in Jamaica.
Bam. Why is she doing this?
She's doing it because she was getting sick and tired of just reading the same old books where there was always a white male protagonist.
Always, every time. And I think it's great on my end just because, I only get one perspective myself, and it's not a perspective I live. So it's really good for, the next generation to be able to have more empathy for, people who have different experiences than them.
She's fantastic. I'm so excited to see what else comes from her, and I'm just so thrilled about this idea. I can't wait to see what else comes out of it.
All right. Well, next up on Edge 88.1 is going to be Wasn't Expecting That. Welcome back on Edge 88.1. This is Lacie Gwinn here with Missi Farni. It is 4:46. I hope you're enjoying your rush hour as much as you can. Missy is going to give us an update on the Oscar So White situation.
All right, so recently, back in this news, they're talking about it again. They're saying that the Academy's actually speaking out about it now. They're saying that they are opening up new positions, as well as they're making more room for women and people of color on the Academy board. The thing that I'm wondering is if that's going to be enough for people of color to be okay with what's going on in this situation.
I would hope that would at least give, I don't know if we necessarily need an upper hand, but an even hand would be great. And more black actors in movies in general would be a great start. But, this is a place to start, at least.
Absolutely. And they were even saying that they were expecting host Chris Rock to poke some fun at the Academy during the awards show.
I fully expect that.
I would be disappointed if he didn't. And I'm really excited to see how the Academy takes all of his jokes. And I'm really excited to see how the public takes the fact that he still is hosting the event with this all going on.
Yeah, there's a pretty good question there. I think a lot of people will be okay with it, especially because he's going to make jokes. And I think that if you are hiring Chris Rock, then you expect for jokes to be made at your expense. So I'm okay with it.
It's what comedians do.
Yep, I hope that this makes a difference, though.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see how the award ceremony goes. Because I love award season. Award season's the best season.
Well, up next on Edge 88.1 is And I Love Her. Welcome back to Edge 88.1. That was Recover by Churches. So have you ever felt with the Barbies that they're just too skinny and too bland and just don't represent a wide variety of people?
My entire life, Lacie, yes.
I kind of never felt, that Barbies were responsible for anorexia or all the eating disorders that people blame on them, but I would have always liked to see more variety in body types and colors and personalities, and Barbie is finally doing that.
What?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So they are going to come in petite, tall, and curvy. So they're not just going to be, the one size fits all, too skinny, impossible body type, but they're going to have the curvy ones. I kind of have a little bit of an issue with just because it's just that they have bigger hips. Still kind of a weird ratio, but it is a starting place. I'm okay with that. So not only do we have, white Barbie dolls, black Barbie dolls, but we have people or Barbies with mixed skin in there. So girls, yes, absolutely. So girls can see now just like a more broad spectrum of other people. It's more likely that they're able to reflect themselves. And there is even a Barbie with blue hair.
Yes! Alternative indie rock Barbie. Excellent. I love her.
That makes me really happy. What do you think of the new Barbies? Tweet us at KDPS88. You are listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup.
Come on, come on, come on.
It's a massive mashup. KDPS.
Thanks for tuning in with us here on Edge 88.1. You're listening to the Culture Chronicles with Missy and Lacie. And Lacie, guess what?
What?
Star Wars is back again.
I know that I kind of failed on not knowing what a DeLorean is, but when it comes to Star Wars, I am a complete nerd.
Oh, well, it's good. Then we can still be friends.
Yes, okay, good.
All right. Well, Disney has decided to push back the date, breaking my heart a little bit, onto the next episode of Star Wars.
Which was supposed to come out in 2017? May of 2017.
May of 2017, and now it's coming out in December because they saw how well the first one did coming out last month. So they decided that, let's do it again.
Well, I think I saw that they wanted more time to develop the story and to do a little bit more time on the filming, which I support. I would rather have a really great production done than have it be rushed. Because I mean, this is a great series. We kind of had that fail with the other 3. Now these ones are, I think, as good as the first. So hopefully this next one does it just as well.
All right, well, they're starting filming in February in London, so get stoked, everybody, because there's going to be pictures coming out soon, and we're going to have clips. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I love Star Wars, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yay! I'm so excited.
All right, and then right now we're going to play Moments by Tovlo.
We are back on Edge 88.1. My name is Lacie. I am here with Missy. We are on the Culture Chronicles right now. Now, have you ever been out with a guy you thought, Superman ain't got nothing on him? And he's taking you out on a date. And you're like, I'm not going to eat any garlic tonight. This is going to be wonderful. And then you get out to this nice, beautiful restaurant. And what is he doing? He's playing on his phone the whole time.
Oh, no.
Now, this goes either way. I work in restaurants, so I've seen it a lot. It can be males or females, but why would you take somebody out, spend all this money, and then just be in your cell phone the whole time? That is ridiculous.
Like, are Kanye West tweets as interesting as the person that's sitting across from you? Probably not at this moment, so I don't know what you're doing with your face and your phone.
No, I would say just go into the bathroom and go out the window or something. Just leave him there.
Oh, totally. Just date and dash.
But it's not even couples necessarily, but I do see a lot of parents doing this, surprisingly enough.
Oh,
They're
no.
in their phone while their kid is like, Mommy, 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 I'm running around and doing stuff. So that kind of annoys me. You're taking your kids out. Go spend some time with them. Mm-hmm. But speaking of spending time with your kids, we at KDPS do have some tickets for Disney on Ice coming up.
Oh my gosh.
So we have 6 of them. They are up for grabs. Give us a call at 515-263-2985 and we will get you set up. Up next is Trouble by Iggy Azalea and Jennifer Hudson on Edge 88.1. And we're back on Edge 88.1. That was For You by All That Remains. Now, we all know that Donald Trump causes quite the media circus wherever he goes and whatever he does. He decided that for the Republican debate tonight, he is not going to take place, or he is not going to take part in it, rather.
Ooh.
I think that this is a great thing. Not just because I am not really a fan of Donald Trump. He's kind of scary a little bit. Not so much somebody that I want to be my president. But what does excite me about this this change-up is that now, instead of the media being focused on what Donald Trump said, they're now going to be able to actually, the 2,800, however many Republican candidates are going to actually be able to maybe debate the issues without that circus element. I'm sure it'll be a bit of a circus, but I think that this is good for Republicans. They'll actually get to hear their candidates out.
Right, even for like Democrats or anybody else who's even thinking about voting this time around, it'll be nice to actually understand what we're kind of going against.
Right.
Besides the fact that Donald Trump has to kind of somehow maneuver his way into all of the viewpoints of every single person in the world.
Yeah, I will actually be watching this one. I haven't watched them before just because it's just been too chaotic for me to get anything out of it. So I will be watching this one. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what kind of crazy things come out of this one.
Yeah, someone else will have to step up. Come on, Donald's gone. Who's next?
All right, well, we have Sweet Life by Young Jeezy and Janelle Monáe next.
Thanks for listening to us on Edge 88.1. You're listening to Culture Chronicles with Missy and Lacie.
Hey.
So, Lacie, do you watch Saturday Night Live at all?
No.
Oh, man. So, have you heard of Tina Fey's running sketch about Sarah Palin?
Yes, and that makes me laugh so hard. I love it so much.
She's just so fantastic and on point with about everything she does.
The look, the voice. I love the voice.
Well, that's funny that you'd say that, because recently Bristol Palin is less than amused with Tina Fey's voice.
I'm less than amused with Bristol Palin.
She says that Tina Fey doesn't sound anything like her mother, and that SNL needs to get better quality content because they obviously are digging at the bottom of the hole.
No, I think that it was perfectly timely. Now, I understand why she'd be upset, because this is her mom we're talking about, and we're making fun of her mom and her nice American Alaskan accent, you high rollers and holy rollers and whatnot. Yeah, I can understand why she'd be mad about that, but it's still funny.
But the thing is, does comedy have a line that we should draw? Is Bristol Palin kind of correct when she's saying that maybe we shouldn't be having so much of a recurring kind of thing like Tina Fey's doing with this sketch?
No, I think that she is incorrect. I think that it's hilarious. Now, if the roles are reversed and it's actually making fun of Bristol Palin, I don't like those. The kids are not fair game in these, so I would kind of be upset about. But Sarah Palin did this to herself. She's fair game.
Well, I guess we'll see if Tina decides to do another sketch in the future, because I definitely see one coming, because I don't think Sarah Palin's going anywhere.
Well, okay, for this sake, I hope so.
All right, the next thing we're going to hear is Sun is Shining.
And we're back on Edge 88.1 Des Moines radio mashup. Have you ever been walking down the street or grocery shopping or just, putting gas in your car, and some gentleman decides to let you know, that he knows you're there? Hey, baby, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you smile for me? That drives me absolutely nuts. I just want to go pump the gas in my car and not be bothered by anybody. And, women around the world are starting to feel the same way. There is a group of women, a band actually, a punk rock band in Mexico. The translation of their name is Daughters of Violence. And what they do to combat street harassment is kind of amusing and maybe a little bit mean.
What is it?
So when a guy yells out at them from their car on the street, they run up to them. They will even chase after the car if necessary, and they will shoot a confetti gun at them. They will hold it up to their head and shoot a confetti gun.
I feel like that's the perfect reaction to that.
It might be a little mean, but then they will play a song that's about street harassment. I found it amusing, and I think that it's a great way to, we have to respond to these things, and that's what they said. They said we must respond. If with us responding, we can encourage more women to do the same, it's ideal. We don't think that we're going to change the world, but we know that we've changed ours. So, hopefully something like this can make a difference. Guys, don't do that. A woman might run up to you with a confetti gun and shoot you in the head with it.
And then call you out on your sexist language in song.
Yeah, I just want to go grocery shopping, man.
All right. Thanks for listening to Edge 88.1, and the next song you're going to hear is Fall Alone by Marie Miller. Thanks for tuning in with us on Edge 88.1. You're listening to the Culture Chronicles with Missy and Lacie. All right, Lacie, get this.
Yes?
Oprah. You know her, right?
I do. I do know who Oprah is.
Right.
I got that.
Oprah's great. Well, how great is Oprah?
Oprah's pretty great.
She gets $12 million for a tweet, and guess what it's about?
Spiritual Sunday?
You'd think, but actually it's bread. She tweeted a video about bread.
And she got paid $12 million for that?
Yeah, you can thank Weight Watchers for that, because she's been the spokeswoman for them for so long. She just, always gets a bunch of money to talk about things that I love, too. I love bread, but I don't get $12 million for a tweet about bread.
Yeah, I would actually learn Twitter for $12 million. That would be okay with me.
Lacie would actually learn social media to tweet about bread for $12 million.
I would. I totally would.
I feel like I would, too. I think you guys should too.
Yes. And
Everybody just tweet about bread. Maybe they'll give us all money for it.
And who doesn't love bread?
I know.
Except me. I don't eat bread right now, but...
Oh, yeah, with your weight loss.
Yes, I'm working on it, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup on Edge 88.1.
And we're back on the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missi on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. And it's time for my rant of the day.
Ooh, rant of the day.
I like ranting. Do you have any friends on maybe like your social media sites that sell It Works wraps or any of those crazy weight loss shakes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It drives me nuts. I have a lot of people on my feed that sell these things, and they're people I like and whatnot, but I don't believe in any of these products. So we've mentioned before, I am on the process of losing a bunch of weight, and that is going splendidly for me, but I've done it before, so I do know a little bit about some of it. The fitness industry tries to sell you all sorts of things, like there's these crazy diet pills, and I hate this. Number one, there is no like big hidden secret to weight loss. So they sell these pills that actually they just raise your heart rate a lot. It's not good for you. And they don't even do that much work. They maybe burn 100 to 200 calories.
Yikes. That seems like a lot of money for no payback.
No payback and a lot of risk to your body.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, and then there's another thing, that the It Works wraps. Have you heard of these things?
Yeah. Aren't they like, you just wrap them around and they're supposed to help you lose weight? I don't know how.
That's supposed to be the thing. So you wrap them and you can do your laundry while you're wrapping and losing weight. But that's not the way that it works. It's only localized water weight loss. So it only lasts for, maybe 2 days. And then there are these weight loss shakes. This also drives me absolutely up the wall. So you drink these shakes as a meal replacement. It's supposed to, help you burn your fat faster or whatever. That's not the way things work. See, all this is replacing all the bad calories that you eat with a lot lower calorie that's not satiating, and you're just going to go back to doing what you were doing before and gain everything back anyway. So all of these things also tell you to use them in conjunction with a good diet and exercise. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret. All you have to do is the diet and the exercise. Don't waste your money. I know. It's crazy, right?
Oh my God.
Don't waste your money on any of this crap. It's terrible. It's not good for you. It's a lie. And please, just don't sell them. Just eat good things.
Just love yourself.
Just love yourself. Eat good things. Be happy. Don't wrap yourself for 45 minutes, okay? Well, this has been the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missi. We are signing off for the evening, but stay tuned for Andrew and Jen. You are listening to the Culture Chronicles on Edge 88.1 with Lacie and Missi. So we're going to start off today by talking about a new space for transgender people. There's a young male to female transgender person. She's 9 years old, pink hair, adorable. I love it. And she wants to create a house that is safe for transgender people. That sounds cool. That does sound cool. The only thing about it is that it's next door to the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, she wants to start a riot.
Maybe she does. So there's actually already an equality house there, and they paint, I think it's like a shed or something every 1 week a year, in honor of transgender people, but she kind of wants, there to be a little bit more for transgender people to have their own safe space, which is a totally noble pursuit, as far as I'm concerned. But I wonder, what really is the point of building it next to Westboro?
I think that, in my mind, it's just kind of not a good idea at all, actually, because I feel like, I agree, the visibility needs to happen, and they deserve it, but also, is the clashing going to, solve anything, or help anything?
I honestly, I don't think so. And with Westboro Baptist Church, I just don't think there's any changing of their minds, and I think if you're wanting to create a safe place, then maybe the space to do it is not where they're probably going to have slurs yelled at them all the time and being told how much they're hated while they're on their way to the safe space.
Right, definitely.
So I think that it's a really great idea in thought, but I'm not sure that I feel like it's being done the right way.
Yeah, maybe somewhere else.
Yes, that's what I would say. But all the best wishes to Avery. She's so adorable. I love it, and I love her parents for letting her be who she is at such a young age. It's really cool. And we're going to get to the music here on Edge 88.1. This is Lay Me Down with Sam Smith.
I do.
This is the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missy on Edge 88.1. And we have an amazing story about a 9-year-old girl who is a very serious reporter.
She is.
She's so adorable. Her name is Hildy. And she's got a little controversy going because, she's been doing her own little news show for a while. But she's very serious about it. She actually recently covered a homicide in her neighborhood.
Wow.
She was the first person there. She got the information from a source that trusted her. So she went over, she was the first one to talk to the cops, she got the right information, and she reported it.
I mean, all the power to her, I guess.
Absolutely, but not everybody agrees with that. There are some people that are hating on it a little bit. They're saying, what kind of parents are letting their children cover a homicide? Shouldn't she be playing Tea Party and dress up and stuff?
I can see where they're coming from. I mean, I wouldn't know if I necessarily, the first thing that I would think of my 9-year-old daughter would be for her to cover a homicide.
Probably not. But, I mean, I've watched clips of this kid, and she is fantastic, and she's really mature. And she's still adorable. She's got, some of that 9-year-old, funny talking and whatever. But she is able to handle the news, and she honestly has a better news ethic than a lot of anchors that you see on the news today. So I say, go Hildy.
Yeah, I say go Hildy, but be very careful.
Yes.
Be very careful.
Be careful, Hildy, but keep covering the news, keep doing the news, keep telling the truth. We appreciate it. And we are going to have RGF Island up here on Edge 88.1.
You are listening to the Edge 88.1, the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missy. And Lacie, do you have any weird food combos?
Yes, I do.
What are they?
I like hot dogs covered in chocolate sauce.
Oh my gosh, we're done talking forever.
No.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
No, it's not.
Chocolate and hot dogs, like cooked hot dogs?
Yes, and then you put chocolate sauce on them, and it's delicious.
Okay,
Haven't you ever heard of cupcakes with bacon in them?
That's true. That's
It's
true.
almost
You
the
have.
same
You've got
thing.
me. You got me.
It's delicious.
So since you're a fan of weird food combos,
Don't judge me.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. tweeted the other day that he was having a mayo and banana sandwich and caused, massive hysteria all over Twitter.
That might be worse than my chocolate-covered hot dog problem.
Yeah, I'm thinking that sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of, but then again, I'm the most picky eater ever.
I can't think of any rationale for that. That's just gross.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. What are your gross food combinations? Tweet us at KDPS88 and tell us. Next is I Am the Fire by Hailstorm here on Edge 88.1. You are listening to the Edge 88.1 in the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missy. Lacie, you have an iPhone, don't you?
I do.
Would you like it if someone, I don't know, stole all your pictures or creeped through all of them?
No, probably not.
Well, you can thank the hackers on YouTube who are showing that there is something up with iPhones that they can bypass your touch sensitivity and get to your pictures.
That's That's a little bit creepy.
Only a lot creepy. Almost like, I'm kind of concerned for the guys. The guy, I was watching his video, he was like, finding out these cheats gives me such a rush, and I was like, I don't know which one I'm more concerned with. The fact that somebody could get into my pictures, or that you're so excited that they can.
Was this the guy that went through, like, this process of, like, you have to click on an email thing, and once you click on the email thing, then you can get into the pictures?
Yeah.
Like, this elaborate process?
Yeah, and he posted it to YouTube, and that's what he does, like, for a living.
Okay, the reason that's creepy isn't necessarily that I'm worried about, like, people having figured that out beforehand, but why would you show people that? Now people know how to get into my iPhone. Nobody would have had an idea of how to get into my iPhone before that.
Yeah, I think it's a little weird that you're kind of, pushing people to, he even said something about girlfriends using it to see if their boyfriends are cheating on them.
No, stop it, man.
No.
I disapprove.
This is weird.
Stop it.
But what's not weird is Electric Love by Borns, which we're going to play on Edge 88.1.
This is the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missi here on Edge 88.1. So, recently, Amy Schumer was featured on Glamour magazine. The magazine was geared towards fashion for people of every size, so that sounds really great, right?
Right.
So, one of the headlines in there was listed as, women that we admire. And it was Adele and Amy Schumer and Melissa McCarthy, excuse me. Which, they're all fabulous women, right?
Right.
But Amy's a little upset because they put her into the category of being plus size. And she's not upset because she thinks that plus size is bad. She's upset because she's a size 6 and a size, 6 to 8. And
wow.
she's being...
Oh, man.
They never specifically labeled her as plus size, but that is kind of the way that she took it. So, she snapped back. She was like, girls are going to see me, looking perfectly normal, and I'm at a size 6, size 8, it's a very normal size, and girls are going to think that they're fat because they're that size.
I understand where she's coming from, but I don't know if I don't know if it's a bad thing that they said that she was plus size. I think it would have been, and I mean, like you said, they didn't say it specifically. I mean, maybe if she wouldn't have said anything about it, no one really would have got to that point.
Maybe. I don't know. And I kind of was confused by her response as well, because, you want to go for body positivity. You don't want to be like, plus size is fat. But actually, Lena Dunham came back and kind of defended her a little bit. She said that, she thinks that the entire thing is really trying to break down the barriers and eliminate the label of plus size for women. You're just a size, and everybody wants to just wear cute clothes, and fashion is really for everybody, right?
I believe in that, yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's something to think about. I can kind of understand where Lena was coming from, but I can also understand how maybe it didn't come out right either.
Right, definitely. I think it's a misunderstanding, yet again.
Yeah, it could be. Well, next on Edge 88.1, we are going to have Goodbye by Slipknot. This is the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missi on Edge 88.1, and we're going to update you on what's going on with Kesha. Ooh. So, yesterday, some of the charges were thrown out. The charge of a hate crime was thrown out, and the charge of, I think it was a human rights violation, was also thrown out. Okay, so the charges for harassment are still in play. The judge said he was dismissing the claim for the hate crime because if the alleged rape occurred, not every rape is a hate crime.
That's a weird way to state that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it falls under the definition of hate crime. I do see that gender is protected as under hate crimes, same way that your sexual orientation or your religion is. But I've never heard of rape being referred to as a hate crime before, so I don't think this has precedent. So, I'm not sure what to make of that yet. But also, she came out and gave some news herself on her Instagram. So she posted this with a selfie, and she said, "So, I got offered my freedom if I were to lie. I would have to apologize publicly and say that I never got raped. This is what happens behind closed doors. I will not take back the truth. I would rather let the truth ruin my career than lie for a monster ever again."
To be honest, I wish I was more surprised at the fact that she said that. I mean, the music industry and all entertainment industries, they like to hide things. They don't want their name to be tarnished with an entire, thing like this.
Yeah, and heaven forbid that you don't make money for a second. But, it doesn't surprise me. If it's true, and I don't think that she has a reason to lie about it, I'm really sad that I'm not surprised.
I know, me too.
So it's just not abnormal for a person who has been assaulted to have to cover it up in some way because there's money at stake. So it kind of makes me sad, and frankly I think it's disgusting. So we'll have to see how this develops. But next on Edge 88.1 we are going to have Sound of Your Heart.
You are listening to the Culture Chronicles on Edge 88.1, and I love Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure that's a known fact.
You do love your T-Swizzle.
I do love my Tay-Tay. And she's getting a huge honor coming up in May. She's getting the Taylor Swift Award.
How does that work?
There's only been one other person who's won an award like this, and that was Michael Jackson. And it's literally an award based on her accomplishments for her.
That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
She's made such an impact on the music industry that she's kind of setting the bar for other pop artists.
So is she in charge of these awards, or somebody who's just like, hey, we're going to have a Taylor Swift award?
No, I think they're supposed to present it to her at the BMI Pop Awards in May. So I think it's nothing that she cooked up. I think somebody else is presenting this to her.
Okay, I couldn't see her doing that, but that was still just like, I had to have you explain this to me.
That's okay. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome just because I love Taylor, and the 1989 tour did so amazingly well. It's just another awesome thing to put up on her resume of amazingness that is Taylor.
She's just going to need she's going to need a whole house just for her awards.
Probably. I'd visit that house.
I know you would.
And now we're going to play New Romantics by Taylor Swift on Edge 88.1. You are listening to the Culture Chronicles on Edge 88.1, and we were already talking about body positivity today, but I'm going to throw a little bit more at you.
Go for it.
There is a plus-size model who fought back to a bunch of people on Instagram who were commenting on her weight with a picture of her surrounded by her favorite junk foods.
That is the perfect amount of snark. I love it.
I know, it's amazing. I thought it was very, very clever for her to use kind of their words against them.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I loved it. It was awesome.
And she said that she spent a lot of time, her younger years, with a lot of self-hate issues, but it seems like she's fighting back full force, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you should fight back. If I remember what she said, it was, I'm more than my body.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I do love that. I do love that she's fighting back. But I would still probably word it differently, like, hey, I love my body, instead of, distracting attention away from her body. That's kind of how I felt about it anyway.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I feel like the way that she's saying it is she's more than what is seen on the surface. It's what's inside that counts as well. I don't think she's trying to disregard the fact that she looks the way that she does. Yeah. I think she's just, the internal is more important than the external.
Yeah, I think that she's gorgeous. I don't think that there is anything wrong with her. She's perfect. She's soft and she's gorgeous, and I love it.
And in honor of her being so awesome and fantastic with everything that she's done about body positivity, here is Who Says by Selena Gomez and The Scene on Edge 88.1.
This is the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missy on Edge 88.1. Missy, I hate Luke Skywalker.
Join the club.
I really, really hate Luke Skywalker because he's a wimp. And after seeing The Force Awakens, I really felt the same about Kylo Ren.
He's literally a meme all over the internet of how whiny he was the entire movie.
Exactly. So I'm just like in this boat where I really hope that by the end, both Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker die. But I'm coming around to Kylo Ren.
Why's that?
Well, I mean, first of all, somebody brought up that when Chewie shot him after the sad scene where he killed Han Solo. If you don't know that already, then, you know, I don't feel bad.
Oh my gosh, spoiler alert! That's like the worst spoiler of the entire century.
I don't care. But he held everything in with the Force instead of dying like everybody else does when they get shot with a blaster. I mean, that's a pretty awesome blaster that Chewie uses. So, you know, there's some strength there.
Right.
He's still pretty whiny. He still needs to grow up, but the latest fact that I learned about him puts me on Team Kylo. So, you remember the scene in The Force Awakens where he's interrogating Rey, and he takes off his mask, and he slams it down?
Yeah.
And, like, dust flies everywhere? Well, it turns out that that dust was the ashes of his enemies.
That's pretty cool, but I'm also horrified.
Exactly. He's supposed to be on the dark side. I hated him because he was a wimp, but he keeps his helmet on the ashes of people that he's killed.
It's interesting, though, that I wonder if that's actually supposed to be something that was supposed to happen in the movie, or if someone's like, oh man, they think he is, like, not capable of anything. Let's throw a little something at him so everybody's like, oh my god, Kylo Ren is the best.
No, they had that reserved for another scene. So it was intentional to have those be the ashes of his enemies. It was just supposed to be displayed in another scene. They cut it and put it back into this scene. So I am coming around to being Team Kylo. Maybe he will get even better.
I'm not, because of reasons that you already spoiled for everybody.
Because he killed
Don't
Han Solo.
talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
You know what? Just for you, he killed Han Solo. Sorry.
I'm crying, Lacie. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Alright, well, we're gonna get back to the music. This is Over and Over Again by Nathan Sykes, featuring Ariana Grande. This is the Culture Chronicles with Lacie and Missy. It's rant time.
Yay, rant time.
I love rant time. So, recently, Iowa Medicaid switched over to privatized, so it goes to private companies and they take care of things, supposedly. And Governor Branstad says that the transition has gone smoothly. Not so much. That's not a true thing. So, there was a physician's assistant that wrote an open letter on Facebook. She talked about how she has a schizophrenic patient who gets a shot once a month. This shot enables him to live normally, have a job, have relationships that he didn't have otherwise. So she sent in the order for a refill of this prescription, and through all the red tape, it's going to take like a week to get that prescription for a schizophrenic patient. So much can change for a person who has a mental illness in a week without their medication. So it's really likely that this person could lose their job, this person could have a psychotic break, this person could wind up in the emergency room waiting for a bed that they don't have because we've put a bunch of mental health services in inpatient. So, you know, that's really frustrating. But then, the response from the Iowa Department of Human Services, Amy McCoy is her name, she said, well, if there's an emergency, the patient should go to the emergency room. We don't want to see anyone not getting the care they need, so if they're in a crisis, that's exactly what they should do. This makes me so mad, though. Why should anybody have to go to the emergency room because they can't get their prescription to live a normal life because of red tape from insurance companies?
I think Governor Branstad's view of smooth is different than everybody else's.
I think so. I mean, it's upsetting. Like, I know that he did this because it saves money, but at what cost are we saving money?
It's showing that we're still so far behind in accepting mental health and giving these people what they need when they need it.
Right. We really are. It is just like, yes, sure, money, great, but not at the cost of people's lives. What if somebody loses their job? What if somebody has a complete breakdown because they can't get the medication that they need? I don't think that's acceptable. It really upsets me.
I agree.
So, that is my rant for the day. We are going to get back to the music. It is Oh My Love by Score.
You are listening to the Culture Chronicles on Edge 88.1. And Lacie, you know that there are a lot of retailers that sell a bunch of, like, clothing items and makeup online, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, a lot of people are angry at some certain China-based retailers online.
Oh...
They ordered some dresses. One girl ordered a dress that was supposed to be made out of a soft cotton, and it turned out to be something that was kind of like a plastic material.
That's awkward.
Another girl got this one that was supposed to have flowers on it, and it was this plain white dress, and it ended up looking like somebody took their grandma's,
Moo-moo?
Yeah, that's actually the word I was looking for,
there
and
it is.
sewed it together.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's nothing they can do about it either.
No, I think that the only thing that they can do is put it to the internet and show everybody, please do not use these retailers because this happens.
Yeah, I would be pretty mad, because even though, those kinds of sites are usually like, hey, this thing is actually only $11. Look at this cute sundress, it's $11. I would still be mad. I wasted my money on that.
Correct. Me too. I would feel horrible, especially because I'm a poor college student, so why would I want to spend my money and then find out that I spent it
On a moo-moo.
Yeah.
No
Come on.
moo-moos.
Sounds like a headache, so here's a painkiller for you on Edge 88.1. You are listening to the Culture Chronicles on Edge 88.1. That last one was Reapers by Muse. And you know that your mom probably just loves your company. That's probably one of her favorite things in the entire world, right?
Maybe.
Well, this guy kind of took that to the next level. There are a lot of funny things on the internet, but this guy sent a cardboard cutout of himself to his mother.
That's adorable.
He's over studying abroad, and so he's like, here's a piece of me, to keep around while I'm gone. Well, the mom took it a little bit further and actually took the cardboard cutout out to family dinner, took it out shopping, even sent it pictures of the cardboard cutout wearing a towel like he was going to take a shower.
Oh, good job, Mom. That's amazing.
And the best part is that she put these all on Facebook instead of just sending them through a text because that wasn't enough.
Why not?
I think it's freaking hilarious.
I'm on board with you there, Missy. That's pretty good.
Well, and we're going to end out this hour with Scare Away the Dark by Passenger on Edge 88.1.